Ever had a lamp or an appliance where the plug just gives up? The cable gets all frayed and you think, well, I guess that's the end of that. Not so fast. Today, we're going to tackle that exact problem by mastering the standard 3-pin plug. It's a skill that's going to save you some cash and stop you from throwing away perfectly good stuff. So let's dive right in. Yeah, this probably looks familiar, doesn't it? The cable is starting to come apart right at the base, or maybe the plastic plug itself is cracked. It looks a little sketchy, and you know what? It is. Your first thought might be, okay, time for a new one.
But hold on. Don't just toss it. For the cost of a brand new plug, which is next to nothing, you can fix this yourself. Seriously, it's a fantastic little skill to have, and by the end of this explainer, you're going to see just how easy it is.
All right, so before we start connecting any wires, we need to know what we're looking at. Think of it like a little guided tour. Let's pop the hood on this thing and check out the anatomy of the plug. It's not as complicated as it looks, I promise. So once you undo that main screw on the cover, this is what you'll see inside. You've got your 3 brass pins, and each one has a tiny screw. Those are the terminals where our wires will go. You'll also spot the fuse, that little cylinder, and down at the bottom, there's a plastic clamp with 2 screws. That, my friend, is the cord grip, and it is super important for safety. Okay, with the plug open, it's time for a little bit of prep. Doing this part right will make the final connection a whole lot smoother, and more importantly, a whole lot safer. Let's walk through it. First, open up the plug casing, just like we did. Next, you want to loosen the 2 screws on that cord grip at the bottom. Don't take them all the way out, just get them loose. Now for the key part. You're going to carefully strip off about 2 inches or 5 centimeters of that thick outer cable. The whole point is to reveal those 3 colorful wires inside without nicking them. Then you'll just strip a tiny little bit of plastic off the very tip of each of those colored wires so the shiny copper strands are showing. And here we are at the main event, connecting the wires. I know, this is the part where people sometimes get a little nervous, but it's all based on a super simple color code. You just need to remember 3 golden rules. That's it. First up, let's grab the blue wire. This is our neutral wire. Basically, its job is to complete the electrical circuit. So the big question is, where does it go? Here's your first mnemonic, your first golden rule. Blue to the bottom left. It's that simple. The blue, neutral wire always connects to that pin on the bottom left. Just loosen the terminal screw, slide the copper wire in, and tighten it down nice and snug. See? 1 down, 2 to go. Okay, next wire, the brown one. This is our live wire. You can think of this one as the wire that carries the juice, the electrical current, from the wall socket. So where does this one hook up? And here's rule number 2, brown to the bronze fuse. The brown, live wire connects to the pin on the right-hand side. And guess what? That's always the pin that's right next to the fuse, which is usually a bronze or brass color. The plug practically tells you where it goes. And just like that, we're 2 for 2. And finally, we have the green and yellow striped wire. This is the earth wire, and honestly, it might be the most important one for keeping you safe. If something goes wrong with the appliance, this is the wire that channels all that dangerous electricity safely away. And lucky for us, its position is the easiest one to remember. Just think about it. Green grass grows up. The green and yellow earth wire always goes to that long pin right at the very top of the plug. It's literally pointing up. And that's it. You've just cracked the entire wiring code. Blue to the bottom left, brown to the bronze fuse, and green grass grows up. Okay, the wires are in their new homes. But listen up, we are not finished yet. Getting the wiring right is half the job. These next 2 safety checks are absolutely non-negotiable, so please don't skip this part. All right, let's talk about that little fuse. It's a tiny part that does a massive job. It's designed to be the weak link. It'll blow and cut the power if there's a surge, which could prevent a fire. Here's what you need to know. Low power things, like table lamps, they use a 3-amp fuse. But high power stuff, like a kettle or a space heater, they need a beefier 13-amp fuse. You have to match the fuse to the appliance. So before we button this all up, there are 2 last things to do. First, just take one last look and make sure you've put the correct fuse back into its little clips. And second, we need to tighten down that cord grip. And this step is absolutely critical for safety. Now please, lean in for this one. Those 2 little screws on the cord grip, they need to clamp down hard on the thick white or black outer sheathing of the cable. Never, ever, ever clamp down on the thin individual colored wires. That grip is the only thing stopping the wires from being ripped out of the terminals if someone trips on the cord. It's not a suggestion, it's a must-do. And with those checks done, you're ready to put the cover back on. You've prepped the cable, you've followed the 3 golden wiring rules, and you've done the critical safety checks. Let's see how it all comes together. Go ahead, put that cover back on, and tighten up that last screw. And there you have it. You've just wired a plug, and you've done it the right way. It's safe, it's secure, and it's ready to bring your appliance back to life. Job well done.
You've just picked up a really fundamental and incredibly useful skill. You saved something from going to a landfill, and, more importantly, you made it safe to use again. So now that you've got this power, what are you going to fix next?